Hi, I'm TD Madia. Welcome to my podcast, Politricking. If you're a politically invested individual, Politricking is the podcast for you. Catch exclusive interviews from politicians to local well-known individuals. This podcast will keep you hooked. Find more of these intriguing conversations on primemediaplus.com or on ewn.co.za. And please rate this podcast wherever you listen to help others find Politricking with TD Madia. Politricking with TD Madia.
The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
Time for the Sharing Space, and the Sharing Space is a feature where we share our stories about stuff that happens in our lives, at work, in our family homes, while you were on holiday, when you were with your partner, whatever you want to share with us as the CM Show family. You can just write to us on cm@702.co.za. And today we've got an email from Anonymous that I'm going to read, and afterwards I'm going to get your thoughts on it. If Anonymous is asking for advice, please feel free. Be kind enough to offer advice. Some of you have been in this situation before. Just tell us how you've dealt with it. The email says, "Greetings, Clement. I hope you're well. Please, could your listeners tell me if I'm overreacting? My mom passed away 5 years ago after a long illness. I was doing my final year at university. My dad became very hands-on and catered to my every need. He literally tried to fill the gap that my mom had left. After I graduated, my dad introduced me to a lady that he said was his friend. He said they met 6 months after my mom's passing. I thought that this was too soon, and I did not like the lady from the beginning. They dated for 2 years before he proposed to her in 2022. They got married in 2024, and she officially moved into our family home. I've grown to be more accommodating of her, but last week I went home and found that she had removed all of our family pictures from the wall. My mom featured in all the pictures. My stepmom put all the pictures up in my old bedroom. I'm very hurt by this because I feel like it removes my mom's memory from our home. I raised the issue with my dad, but he says it's unfair on my stepmom to keep seeing pictures of my mom in the house because she's trying to make the home her space as well. This has hurt me so much. I'm the youngest child and I'm closest to my mom. My 2 older siblings don't seem to be bothered by this. So, am I overreacting? I'd like to hear from some of the listeners. Anonymous. Okay, what do you think? 011-883-0702. Anonymous's mom passes away. 6 months later, dad meets a woman, proposes to her 2 years later. The stepmom now moves into their house. And the issue that Anonymous has is that stepmom has removed all the pictures, family pictures from the wall that feature their mother. And just she feels like this is hurting her. The older siblings are seemingly okay with it, which is why she's asking, am I overreacting? It's such a tricky one because, it is a tricky one. And maybe that's why it's so important that we respect the family home, especially when someone has passed and children still have ownership and still consider this as a family home. Then maybe as a dad, what you do is, how about you find another space for you and the stepmom so that you make that your family home? Because if the stepmom comes into a home that belonged to you, your late wife, and the kids, and still makes changes to that, what does that say to the kids who still live in that house? I mean, I see it if the kids are no longer living there, but for children who still live in the house, it's a bit of a tricky one. And maybe the better option, especially where there are resources and capacity, maybe it's better to just, let's find a new home when you're marrying someone, when you've lost your wife, in this context, a wife that's been lost. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that would have been my solution. So, Anonymous, I actually don't think you're overreacting. Your mother is your mother, Your mother shared that home with all of you. I don't think her pictures must be removed from the wall. If the stepmom feels like this house needs to have, her vibe, wants to somehow have ownership of it in a sense that it must be representative of her as well, then they must find another place for that. Otherwise, she has to integrate herself within this family structure. That's my view. What's yours? Give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. It's 18 minutes before 12.
The Sharing Space
On the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
15 minutes before 12.
702 Land, Vincent here. The lady is not overreacting. She is quite right. Now, I think what her dad has done, he has made the biggest mistake of his life. Now, think about it this way. If it happens that the dad passes on, then what is going to happen to his children? You see, that lady is going to kick them out. So in this regard, she's not overreacting. Dad messed up big time. Thank you.
Yeah. Steve, you were calling us from Centron. What do you think? Hey, Steve.
Hi.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Hi. Good day to you. My perspective is that there's nothing absolute in life, and life is actually about a compromise all the way through. I think the mother-in-law is being, or stepmom's being a bit unfair, but likewise, I think the young man is overreacting a bit. The father has to move on with his life. He's got a new partner, and I think his new partner should be a bit sensitive that she can't wish away the fact that there is a previous life that her husband has now. So
Hi, Clement.
some of the pictures, and also the young man needs to be sat down and told that he's a family home, but there's a new member of the family, and you must compromise. You must accept that some of the pictures will go and some will stay. Likewise, the stepmom must accept that as well.
Some of the pictures will stay, yeah. Steve, thank you for that. So it's about a compromise. Mama Kau, you're in Kagiso. What do you think? Hi.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you very much. I think mine, it's the same as the last speaker to say the father should have bought a new house for her and for him and the new wife, which is not a problem for him to have a relationship. But my worst fear is when he can die today. Those children are out in the streets already. So that is the behavior that I see. If you can't incorporate your life into the life that was there before, so that means the worst is coming. So he must start to rectify his mistakes now, because he might find his children out of the house in the future.
What do you think of what the other listener raised, that maybe there must be a compromise, so the kids must also accept that there must be other pictures that go off, some pictures that stay, but the stepmom as well must accept that some of these pictures will go, but some will stay because this is still a family home?
Yeah, I think the whole thing goes with how you start the whole process of incorporating one person into your life.
Yeah.
I think when you start a family, you need to involve everybody, and some of those things that needs to be discussed at the beginning of everything. So I think yes, everybody must incorporate. There must be compromise of other things. Yes, maybe the child also needs to understand that this new person. But also, if there is that relationship of them talking, maybe let's take this and put them in one room where we make sort of a one room that has older pictures of our parents and all that. Maybe that will work. But I still don't agree with the stepmother
removing
in the
them.
Same house. Yes, and also in the same house with them. I think the father should have bought another house.
I agree, Mama Kau. That's still a family home for these kids. And if you and I also understand that a stepmom also needs to feel like this is my space, this is our home. Then build a separate home. for the stepwife. And I know it's very simplistic to say that must be the option with everyone, because not all people are going to have the resources for that, or the money, or the capacity. But I think that needs to be thought of quite thoroughly.
Every woman has the right to make her dwelling space her own. It therefore does make sense that she would remove the photos that would remind her that it's not really her space. It's the only way for her to claim it back. And I support the father, and I support the older siblings. She can keep those photos in her bedroom, and in time, she can take those photos to a new home. No, you need to let go.
Hello, 702 lenders. It's really sad for Anonymous, but I think the whole setup was not done properly. I think the man was supposed to find the house for the latest wife so that every family member of the house can still have a nice memory or closure. Memories of their mother. You don't want to forget about her. I just think she was supposed to get her own house so she can make her own memories and, start her own journey with the husband. And then the husband can visit the kids, because now they are like saying to the kids, forget about your mom. There's a new mom, and that's really not really right. Thanks, guys, for a great show, Shadi, Kempton Park.
Hi, Clement. This is Busi here. I think it's selfish of the stepmother to remove all the pictures, to rearrange the house, as it were. The father should have bought a new home for the new wife, and they should have moved out and leave the family home with the children. I personally, I don't like that, this stepfather situation, because whether we like it or not, it does affect the children.
Yeah. I'm also interested in what some of you have done. Have you been in those shoes? Maybe you can let us know how you dealt with a scenario like that, where you move in with your husband or a partner who still has pictures in their house because they still have children there, pictures of the wife that has passed, or maybe even the wife that they've divorced. Have you been in a situation like that? How did you deal with it? Noni, you are calling from Joburg. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Hi, Clement. So, first of all, I don't think the wife is being unfair. Remember, the new wife, this is new love for her. This is a new life. This is a new relationship that she wants to build. She wants to build a life and memories together with the new husband. And that is something that she has to do according to what she prefers, what she wants. Also, having those pictures might make her feel like she has to always keep up to the expectations of what the old wife used to do. So it might speak a lot of things when the pictures are hanging on the wall, right? So I think what probably could have been done was that the husband should have maybe bought a new house for the lady so that they stay together there. But also in that case, they run the risk of making the children feel like that they've been abandoned, especially if they're still young, you know? But I think the woman needs to be given a break, because this is Lutando Lucha. It's new love. She doesn't want to feel like she's confined to someone else's definition of a home or a family. She wants to create something from scratch. So she should be allowed that opportunity through conversation, obviously. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because all of us, when we find new love, we want to create something that speaks to us, not try and walk in someone else's path.
True. And she's just as entitled to that space as those kids, and especially if the husband has brought her into that space. Then if that's also her home, she must feel at home, and part of her way a feeling of home is to make that space hers as well. But then the question, guys, is because I also believe that the man should have gotten a separate house for her, so they live there. But then, what if the husband can't afford that? What then happens? Met ladies, you're in Omonde. Hi. Tobel.
Now, in those shoes, it divorced the man today.
Oh, Met ladies, the line is not good. It's not good, and I want to hear what you're saying, because you're saying that you may have been in the shoes. So I'm going to put you back to the producers to try sort out that line. Janice, you are in Randburg. Have you been there in this situation?
Yes, I was. My husband's wife passed away from cancer.
Yeah.
And when I moved into his home, his youngest son was still living here. And I was of I felt that he must be able to hang on to his mother. I wasn't there to be his mother. And I just felt that if there was anything here that was his mother, whether it was pictures or anything that reminded him of her, then they must stay. But I must say that in the bedroom, in our bedroom, there was a large photograph of their wedding picture. And I wasn't very happy about that.
Yeah.
But I left it up to my husband to realize that when he must remove it. And he did. In time, he took it down.
How long did it take for him to remove that pic, Janice?
Not too long, because we were together before we got married.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe it was as long as a year.
Okay.
But I was sort of, able to cope with it.
Yeah, you're able to deal with it. Thank you, Janice.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that experience with us. Gladys, we've got you back on the line. Go ahead.
When I divorced my husband,
yeah,
unatlana girlfriend, because the girlfriend used to come and sleep in the house. If you start a new life, irrespective of your gender, respect the children of the late wife. Therefore, what about those children? As women, we should stop being selfish. Women are very selfish and self-centered. And when it comes to relationship, they've got a very small, tiny, winky mind. They can't think beyond the new relationship. He has started a new relationship. He should buy his new lady a new house.
Right, met ladies in Omonde. Thank you for your thoughts.
Hi, I'm TD Madia. Welcome to my podcast, Politricking. If you're a politically invested individual, Politricking is the podcast for you. Catch exclusive interviews from politicians to local well-known individuals. This podcast will keep you hooked. Find more of these intriguing conversations on primemediaplus.com or on ewn.co.za. And please rate this podcast wherever you listen to help others find Politricking with TD Madia. Politricking with TD Madia.